Yes, I did say number 18. Number 18. We're solving the system. Can't draw curly braces apparently. Whoa. Y'all saw the quiz. Oh no. Solving the system 9C minus 3D equals negative 33 and 6C plus 5D equals negative 8. So what should we do to solve this system? After you cry, what then? What?
You crash your water.
You bring down the first equation and solve for D.
That sounds like a really good idea. That's the route that I would choose, I think. There are always multiple ways to solve these things.
Yeah.
But that one does look like the easiest. Because we'll have to deal with the least number of fractions that way. So we're going to solve for D, she says. So, in order to solve for D, what should we do?
Add negative C with 9C both sides.
Mm-hmm. You're both right, even though you said two different things. They happen to mean the same thing. So negative 3D equals negative 33 minus 9C, right? Sounds good. Now what?
9 divided by 3.
Divide by negative 3, right? We've got to divide everything by negative 3. That's right. D equals 11 plus 3C. That's exactly right. Excuse me. So now what should we do? We are going to do something with the other equation. What are we going to do with it? We're going to substitute this for D, right? Because it equals D. Okay.
That's going to be one extra problem.
There you go. So are we learning something? That's good. 6C plus 5 times all that mess, right? 11 plus 3C equals negative 8. Now what? Distribute. Distribute that 5.
55 plus 15.
Yeah, don't forget to bring down the 6C, right? Plus 55 plus 15C equals negative 8. True facts. Now what?
Combine the C's.
Combine like terms, the C's. Combine your words and you've got it beautiful. 6C plus 15C is 21C. Bring down plus 55 equals negative 8.
Subtract both sides by 55.
Sounds like a really good plan. Minus 55, minus 55. Those cancel. What? 11 times 5.
We distribute.
When we distribute it. That's right. So we bring down our 21C equals negative 63, right?
I second that motion.
Second that motion. Divide by 21, right? So C equals negative 3.
I didn't have any major problems. I just forgot to bring down egg.
I think every major
Yeah,
problem.
that happened. What are you understanding what's going on? Yes, no, maybe. Good. That's the goal.
So far, we're doing what I did on the last one.
Theoretically, As long as you're actually learning from whatever you're doing, theoretically in my class, you could get every homework problem wrong ever and still make 100 in my class. Because as long as you're learning from those mistakes and doing well on the quizzes and then well on the tests, you're fine. The only point of the homework is to practice and to figure out where you're confused. So, last thing we need to do is what?
Substitute C for negative 3.
Yeah, I think you meant the other way around, but yes. Negative 3 for C, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. D equals 11 plus 3 times negative 3. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Negative 9 plus 11 is 2. So our final answer as an ordered pair, assuming C is X and D is Y, is negative 3, 2.
Wait. Why is it 2? Oh.
Okay, I see what it is now. You just said
What if
I did
you
everything.
think of it's the other way around? Could you get
Well, then you just fail at life, don't you? No, yeah, I mean, I would probably count, yeah, like I probably wouldn't scream about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Failing is when I'm good.
No, it doesn't, because what the independent and dependent variable is, we couldn't possibly know from that problem.
alphabetical
Right.
like
What other questions from this homework assignment?
46.
46.
46.
46, we have the system I. We have the system 5x minus 20y equals 70, and then 6x plus 5y equals negative 32. So what should we do? The bottom one, okay? We're going to take the bottom one and solve for what?
Y.
For y. Sounds great. In order to solve the bottom one for y, what are we going to do?
Subtract both sides by 6x.
Sounds good. So we've got 5y equals negative 32. Excuse me. Minus 6x. And then divide everything by 5. I'm going to write it this way. And the reason I'm going to write it that way is because it doesn't go evenly into negative 32 or 6. So I'm just going to leave that as the answer.
Oh, you know, just positive.
As long as it's all over 5, right? Okay, so now what am I going to do?
Put that answer in Y on the top.
Sounds good. I'm going to take this one and put it in for y on the top one. Just so we know, if we would have solved the first one for x, we wouldn't have had fractions, but it's okay. I don't ask or expect you to do things the easiest way. I just expect you to do them a way.
I would do it the easiest.
What number is that? 46.
46. That's okay. This is the route we have chosen, so this is the route we shall go. Right? So, do what? Okay, that's fine.
Me either.
Like I say, this is definitely not the easiest route, but it is a route that's going to work out fine. And it may not actually be as hard as you think. Just watch what's happening next. So minus 20 times negative 32 minus 6x over 5, right? Equals 70. So this is where we are. So what should we do?
Distribute the 20.
Distribute the 20, kind of. Now we're multiplying the negative 20 times this entire fraction, right?
Yes.
What?
What do you mean, what? That 20 times this entire fraction, yes? Yes, okay, good. now is the what, right? that part wasn't confusing yet. We weren't there yet. We'll get to the confusing, but okay, now this is 20 over 1, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you'll remember, and if you've never learned what I'm about to tell you, you should go to Ember Learning Lab's YouTube channel and look at the video on fractions, because pre-reducing might save your life. It's a good thing and helpful. Okay, so if you've never learned this, but we can pre-reduce here because something goes into 20 and 5. Yes? What goes into both 20 and 5? 5. What's 20 divided by 5? 20 divided by 5?
4.
4. What's 5 divided by 5? 1. So we reduced some things. So now we can add, this one's down to 1, so it doesn't, we don't care. So we're gonna instead distribute negative 4.
We don't even have a fraction.
Now I can understand the what. Now that might happen. So make sure we're understanding where we are and what's happening and where we're following. And what might be useful is if we write this bit as with some extra steps that are happening. I will punch you both in the throat.
I think too far for that if you do it at the same time.
Maybe I am
You reach.
Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You know, and this video that is being recorded at the moment is going to end up being uploaded to YouTube, so you could show your mom, your dad, your pet goldfish. Mr. Fulkerson threatened me.
Here's proof.
Yes, I
I
can
can
sue
sue
you.
you.
I hate my teacher. He's trying to kill me.
Stretch your arms. But then first.
But then my lawyer would be like, "You hear the laughter and the people that he was talking to responding. It was clearly a joke. Whatever."
Everyone wanted that to happen.
Okay.
Oh no!
So are we following how I got back to reality? Are we following how I got from this step to this step?
Sure.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now we're going to distribute the negative 4. How's that sound? Great. Now, it's worth noting, and I'm going to mention this now, that if this, I'm just going to lift part of this. If this was negative 20 times negative 32 fifths minus 6x, so the 5 wasn't under everything, we couldn't do that.
It would be infinite.
It was, yeah, that's right. That's what we got. But if this was like on a totally different problem, if this was what we were doing, then we would still just have to distribute. Now that it's gonna pre-cancel here, but here you're gonna multiply times negative 20 instead of, yeah. So yeah. All right. So what's negative 4 times negative 32?
120.
You're so close.
Yeah, negative 120.
No.
Positive 128, not 120. Or did you say that and my ears deceived me?
You said negative.
He said negative. Okay,
Well,
there you go.
I said that. But you said negative.
Oh wait, the 4 is also.
You know what's really slightly comical? So, in case y'all don't know, I think y'all do at this point, is that I have a YouTube channel, right? And we started gaining a whole bunch of subscribers because we reacted to this Indian movie that one of our regular commenters on our Wheel of Time stuff did, and so we reacted to the trailer to that. And then apparently a lot of people in India like watching American people react to their stuff, apparently. And so we've been doing a few different Indian things here and there just because it does well. And we've been trying to find ones that are interesting that we like. And it's really funny when they get in a fight about, like, no, this is that, and that's the other thing, whatever else. Because, like, I don't. Why are you here? Why are you fighting in my comment section? It's just
Stop fighting in my comment section.
Because there are like a dozen in their movie like industries in India. Because everybody hears about Bollywood, right? Which is Hindi, whatever else. But there's a whole bunch more. Which we started in Mollywood, which is Malayalam cinema. Because there's like 20 some odd languages spoken in India, like a ton. And so in the Kerala region they speak Malayalam, and they have a quite good film industry there. And so we've been learning. And so we called one of them Tollywood. This is a Tollywood film. And then all these people were like, no, you can't be using this. We're not trying to claim. Like, we heard it from Indian people. Why are you yelling at it? I'm sorry. We'll fix it later. Meat and mystery. Okay, so what should we do now? Combine like terms. Sounds great. Let's go for it. 29x plus 128 equals 70.
Subtract both sides by 120.
Yay! Go team.
I always account for at least one view on the chef channel.
Nice.
Okay.
We'll have another Indian something coming out this evening. Actually,
I'll go back to the views are all the same. I watched that, so there should be one more.
it does take time for the view, like the way the analytics go through. It doesn't. That's how that works. Now, subscribers, you can see it immediately. But
So that's trying to say.
70 minus 128 is what? Sounds right to me. And then
Divide everything by 29.
29. No, that's 21. Was that a Vine video or something? Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. What's negative 58 divided by 29?
Negative.
You invented Vine? You literally invented. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, negative 2, and then we're going to plug that negative 2 in up here. Y minus, equals negative 32 minus 6 times negative 2 over 5. Negative 6 times negative 2 is 12. Negative 32 plus 12 is negative 20. Negative 20 over 5 sounds like negative 4 to me. Boom shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka. Remember we were all excited for Vine 2 and it turned out to be TikTok.
No, it was Musically, wasn't it? I am definitely at this point in my life getting to the phase where I am old, because I don't really pretend to understand TikTok. Sound like an old person. What is this TikTok nonsense?
I don't think anybody really understands TikTok.
Well, that may be true. All right, we can probably take one more question on this homework assignment before we move on to the next thing. If we need any more questions. What?
I solved 50, so you know why it's no solution.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to know that.
I made it like, yeah, I was like, oh no, it disappeared. I was like, yo, it's posted.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, I did something. I lost my variable. Where'd it go? I have to make it work. I have to go back and do something else. Something wrong.
No
See,
solution is not.
that sounds. If I was going to be a math teacher, TikToker, or Instagram reeler, because it's the same thing. If I was, that sounds like a good TikTok thing. What happens when you lose your variable?
You could do it like Hank Green-esque, where you're just like so done with everyone.
I used to really like Hank Green and John Green, but as I've actually kind of followed them on other social media stuff, I've about decided, nah, just kidding, not a fan.
Yeah, his content's really easy to get bored of.
Well, like Hank Green specifically, his content, like SciShow and some of those other things, yeah, I like all that. But when he starts to get into his politics, like, okay, I don't care. Stop talking. All right.
I grew up on SciShow.
SciShow's great.
That was my introduction to science. I love it.
And his Hank Green's what did you solve for? It's because we'll pick the same starting place.
Letters that.
I started with the bottom.
The bottom one, and you solve for
No.
F. Okay, so solving the bottom one for F, we shall add 12G, right?
Yep.
Kablamo, right?
You divide it.
Negative 32F equals 48 plus 12G. And then you divide by negative 32, is that what you said?
Yep.
All right, great, let's do it. So F equals, now watch this magic. Can't quite go that far. What's 48 divided by 6? That's 8, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
8 plus 2G over negative 36 doesn't go into 32.
No.
Dang it. So watch this magic. Just kidding. How about 12 plus 3G over negative 8? How did I do that? I did some reducing. And if we're really lucky I did it right, what did I do?
You divide everything by 4.
I divided everything by 4. That's right.
Yeah.
Just to make my life easier later. Does that make sense, everybody? Everybody follow that tricksiness?
Yeah.
This is what you get in Algebra 2, tricksiness. In Algebra 1, they're too scared. Okay. Probably not, but maybe. Okay, so what should we do with that thing?
Trixie conferences.
Put it in first.
F in the first one. Whabam.
I feel like that's what nothing to do that
Hobbit says.
because it's not important.
If any hobbit would know how to do it, it would be the Sackville Beckinses. Because they're the bad ones. And so they would be the one that would do complex math and arithmetics and accounting. Am I calling accountants evil? I guess. Unintentionally, but I guess I am.
Look at that.
Look, we can do some more magic.
Yep, that's right.
Do you believe in magic?
Yes.
No, I don't.
Not magic.
Do that.
Wait.
Because
No.
reduce
Like,
8 by 8 that is 1 and negative 4.
Yeah, not like.
Okay, so this little side ghost conversation, let's bring it to the everybody conversation. So we can use the same tricksiness to do some reducing here. So what goes into 8 and negative 8?
8.
8.
And
Okay.
4.
What's 8 divided by 8?
1.
1. What's negative 8 divided by 8?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Wow. Now, if we divided, now let's do a little bit more tricksiness since it's algebra 2, right? If we divide this into both of these, like what that means, right? Then it just flip the signs, right? So we can write this as negative 12 minus 3G plus 3G equals 12.
Sweet.
So it does become.
What is the answer for 46?
40, didn't we just literally do that one?
I was too slow. I was still on.
Negative 2, negative 4. Good job. Good job. All right. So we're going to combine like terms. Negative 3g plus 3g. What is negative 3g plus 3g?
Nothing.
0. They cancel out. Blapo. So we end up with negative 12 equals 12. Now,
Except it does.
except it doesn't, and that's we've seen this before. It's been a while, but when we're solving an equation, and if we lose our variable, then there are two options. Either A, we come out with a true statement, so like 0 equals 0 or whatever else, 5 equals 5, or we come out with a false statement, which is what we did. We came out with a false statement because negative 12 does not in fact equal 12. So what this is, so we get a no solution.
If it was a true statement, would it be
Infinite solutions. Now let's see if we can think about what's going on here in the system setting. Let's call, which one do we want to call y? Let's call g y and f x. Okay. If we take and we solve this first one for g, then we end up with let's see, 3g equals negative 8f plus 12, right? And then we divide the 3 off, and we end up with g equals negative 8/3 f plus 4, right? So that's for the first equation. Follow me, ladies and gentlemen?
Yep.
Okay. The second one, let's say, we would end up with negative 12g equals 32f, plus 48. And then we divide the 12 off, and we end up with g equals negative 8/3 f minus 4. That's for the second equation. Y'all follow that? Everybody see what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
What do you notice about these two equations? What? I heard a lot of mumbling. It was probably a yawn. What?
Like they're the same thing except for
Something is the same about them. What is the same about them?
negative
Yeah, and what is that? What is that? What is that? Let me give you a hint. What is this?
B?
No, it's M. What is M? Y'all remember?
The slope.
The slope. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So these two lines have the same slope. They both have negative 8/3. What's true of lines that have the same slope? They never touch. They're called parallel, right? They never touch, which is why this system has no solution. So this system we classified systems 3 ways. This one would be a what kind of system? Go back and look at your notes if you don't remember, which is fine. What? Inconsistent, yes. So this is an inconsistent system because these two lines are parallel. They don't have a solution. Very good. All right. You need a piece of notebook paper. If you don't have one, beg, borrow, and steal one. And then, without using your notes or your neighbor or your cell phone or whatever else, but you may use your calculator. You can even use that calculator as long as you don't cheat, but you don't even know how, so it's good.
You can cheat.
Oh yeah, you could. That calculator will do this problem for you.
I know. All the sides are the base.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
These are your quiz problems.
What quiz number?
5.
This is, what is this, lesson 1? So if you want to call this quiz 3-1, you can. That's fine. Or you could call this solving systems with substitution quiz.
I'll stick with the first.
You may use graph paper. That's fine. Make sure, and even if you graph it to check, make sure that you solve it with substitution. You can graph to check. That's fine. And the first one, it is not a mistake. That is -6 plus 12 equals 0. There is not a y in it. It was a mistake when I first wrote it, but then I thought, no, that's a really good idea. I'm going to keep it.
Well, now I'm all kind of confused. Yay.
Oh, no.
No, don't be confused.
That's too
Don't be confused.
Already have
You're solving with, even if you don't remember what it looks like, you're solving with substitution.
Yep.
Number one is actually really easy.
Yep.
Make it happen, Captain.
Is that a 10? Just a
It is a 10.
enunciated 0?
Yes, enunciated 0.
0.
0. I'm now recording. There we go.
We're now back.
You still got music.
We're back.
Oh, no.
Kind of long break.
Welcome
No,
back.
no.
Phil Wickham. Okay. So we're going to multiply this top one by -1.
Oh boy.
What do you mean, oh boy? This is easy. What's 5 times -1? -5.
That's what I mean.
Gasp.
That's what I mean.
Oh, that's what you mean this time. Okay, good. E minus 3y equals positive 19. So now we have this system. It's the same thing. So now what we do is we go piece by piece and we add them up. So 8x plus -5x is what?
3x.
3x. The middle two cancel, which is great because that's what we want them to do. If one of the variables doesn't disappear, then you done did it wrong. So it's -25 plus 19.
Well, you add them up from
Oh. 6.
Negative, right? -6. So now we have a really simple equation and we can solve it, right?
you
Multiply
add up. Yeah.
I am adding like the x's together and the y's together and the nothings together.
Wow, that's so easy. Why wouldn't it be
Why haven't we been solving problems like this? This
Why
is
wouldn't
x
it
equals
Because that was
negative.
Why wouldn't it
Hold
be
on, guys.
Why wouldn't it be 8x? What? Because you add.
Because 8x plus -5.
Well, you add the 5. No, we're not doing the top one.
We turned the. I should have rewritten it. I was trying to hurry. We multiplied -1 on the first one.
Yeah.
And so our new system is just these two. 8x plus 3y equals -25. And then -5x minus 3y
So that
equals 19. So that's the system we're working with now.
top one becomes the bottom.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly
We
right.
add those
Wait.
And then we add those two together. So then we divide by 3. And we end up with x equals -2. And then we substitute that back in to either one, and then we solve for y. So plugging it in, let's say in the first one. So 5 times 2 plus 3y equals -19. 5 times 2 is 10, right?
5 times -2.
Oh, yes, it would be. My bad. Good catch.
Negative.
So then we put the -2 into the top one? Yeah.
Yep.
The one that we changed.
It doesn't matter. Either one. And then this would be -9, so y equals -3. So our answer is -2, -3. So this is what we're going to do at this point. It's 10 o'clock, so it's time for class to be over. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to put your homework up here. I am also going to, in the near future, like today, make a video doing 2 more examples by elimination. So you will also have so you have more stuff, and then we're going to practice it by elimination with our homework. Does that make sense? And then we'll take any questions and whatever else.
How long is the video going to be?
Not long.
You won't have us to talk to, so.
You won't have what?
You to have us and then go off on side.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm only going to do for 2 problems. Basically, actually, I may do 3 because I'm going to do the guided practice on page 139.
Okay.
I'm going to do those problems. So what I would recommend doing, honestly, is I would recommend y'all doing the guided practice and then watching the video.
I almost left my textbook at the center. I'm using it as a prop.
Oh my gosh. Somebody was saying something about throwing a textbook or something. I don't remember what that was.
Involved in a crime scene.
Yes, in my practice. Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Okay, so here's your homework.
Yeah, I gave this book. Why is
Pages 141 through 142. Numbers 20 through 26 and 52 through 60. Oh, good. Yeah, that's good. That's actually really good. That has the exact type of problem I was hoping we were going to have. 52 through 60 evens on both groups. Any questions?
do you have to solve by elimination or can you solve?
You have to solve by elimination.
The instructions.
The instructions, and you have to follow the instructions. My geometry students are getting to ignore some of the instructions right now, but not y'all. Because I think paragraph proofs are stupid.
Yes, yes they are.
So they're not doing paragraph proofs. They're doing 2-column proofs only.
I'm writing class.
That's not why I think they're stupid.
That's why.